Have you ever tried to draw a screaming face? Like a screaming, like feral face, like ah? Because I always wanted to draw faces like that, but I never could. I never practiced, and every time I tried, they were like awful. I always wanted to draw this feral Wolverine screaming and popping his claws. I've been practicing all week how to draw screaming faces, and I'm going to give it my best shot at nailing it. I don't know if it's going to work, but well, I'm going to try. What is the best screaming face that you can do? Is it like ah, or like maybe from here at this angle? Ah! Screaming faces. This is how I started my week. The first thing I thought before beginning was, without any reference, just starting to think how I would draw a screaming face. These are the steps that I thought I had to take. The first thing was a big round mouth. Ah! The second one was the eyes. When you're screaming, your eyes are not open like this, they're just like squinting. Like all of this, all these lines and all the muscles focus here in this part of the face. You know, in South Park, when they do these angry faces, they just draw across because all this energy focuses in this part of the face. And the third part is the nose. When you are squinting like that and opening your mouth, your nostrils go up. So it's like this. Ah, and you have these lines draw all the way down here. Ah, see? So I first started sketching on pen and paper, and I have these drawings, and well, there are some things that I think I got right, but I mean, look at this one. Oh, this one is awful. It just looks so weird. The whole mouth is wrong, the eyes are wrong, the nose is like this, has this big nostrils, but it's not going anywhere. I tried some different perspectives. I mean, well, look at this one, like I had to start thinking about this whole structure, and I tried to think about the jaw and how it moved, but I wasn't getting quite the result I wanted. I mean, look at this one. Like, the skull is too small because I was focusing too much on the jaw, and it looks like worried instead of angry, and the nose is wrong, and the eyes is wrong, and like everything is wrong. I wasn't getting it right at all. And with each further step that I made, with each drawing that I made, I started noticing some things that I had to start changing. Like, I started to focus a lot more on these lines and this part of the face and how all of this goes up when you're screaming. So I went digital later, and the first few drawings that I made, they are like this open mouth. It is really hard to get the precise point where a mouth should open when you're screaming, because if it doesn't open enough, it's like and if you try to make it too open, it looks like the jaw just dislocated, and it looks like it's some kind of weird monster. Like, for example, in this one, like, it's too open, and you have to get the perspective of the teeth right. And well, no one opens their mouth like that. So after a few tries, tries that I wasn't too satisfied with, like not even on profile view, like that's not good. I said, well, let's go and try to use some reference, because it was the next logical step. I did the things that I assumed that I had to do, and I failed, so I was going to use some photos to see what else I could learn. So I took all these pictures, like some of them are from famous people, some of them are just some stock images, some of them just look really weird. Well, here are the few things that I learned. The first thing I learned is that the mouth is not like this big circle, and that the shape that it gets the shape of the mouth when you're screaming is not like big and wide or even square like, you know, you see some artists do. But it's just really depends on this part. You see, it all comes back to this part of the mouth here that I don't know what's it called. So when you start seeing that, you understand that, well, when your mouth is closed, it's actually kind of like folded, and when it's open, it's like an open book, and it folds and it opens, and it all depends on the part where it folds and it opens. So you start to seeing that in, like, for example, this illustration that I made, which I think looks pretty okay. Or this one, just look at the mouth. See where the folding point of the mouth and lips is important for giving it shape and form. Or you have this one of Al Pacino that it doesn't look like Al Pacino at all, but it's still like pretty good. And you can see that the point where the mouth folds is super important for defining the shape of the mouth. The second thing I noticed is that when I drew people screaming, I always thought that the lines that come from the nose to the mouth were always following the lips, but it's not like that. I mean, take a look. You see how it goes a bit wider than the mouth, and then it finishes here on the chin. And that makes it really important for the, you know, to get like some realistic gesture. It actually helps to accentuate the screaming shape of the mouth. It's like you give it just one more shape to emphasize that this is an open screaming mouth and that the face is tense and the skin is tense when you're screaming. And then the fourth thing I noticed is that when you're opening your mouth, your jawline grows wider. Look at this. You see how this part grows wider when you're screaming? It changes the shape of your face. See this picture. See how first it's like smooth, like it is right now on my face, and then it gets wide when it's screaming. Like, check this out. See, this part gets a lot wider. You have to consider that when you're drawing screaming faces, that like the whole shape changes. So after I learned this, I decided I wanted to try once again to draw some screaming faces without any reference at all. And I think that the results are pretty cool. I mean, check this one out. Or this one. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think that I'm getting there. Okay, let's try to do an angry face. Let's see if I can actually use all these lessons that I learned, or that I think I learned. Let's just see. Okay, so we're going to start with this typical circle. I'm going to define that it's going to go like around here. So the rest of the face is going to be down here. I'm not going to finish the jaw because I haven't defined how big I want the mouth to be and the screaming face to be. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you that the eyes are going to be around here. Let's see. They're going to be squinting because they're going to be angry. This is where the nose should start. This is pretty much the shape the nose is going to have. The eyebrows are going to start pretty much at the lines of the eye because it's all like going into this area. And it's going to be a thick nose because when all the skin gets there, the thickness of the nose grows. The nostrils is going to be up and wide. He really looks pretty angry, doesn't he? It's going to be a he. All the wrinkles that go in that area. Okay, so now let's start defining the mouth. This is like the defining moment. See, once you kind of know how to draw the mouth, you can let it define the shape of the jaw. You don't have to worry about the jaw and the teeth once you get the mouth right, because it kind of lets you know where everything else is going to be. Let's See? I know that I have like this zombie expression when I'm drawing. I'm sorry for that. So the ear should be someplace around here. Something like this. Now let's focus a bit on the jaw. Now you know that the eyeball and the eyelid are defined over there. Let's zoom up a bit. That wasn't very smooth, was it? So now the tongue. The lips are pretty much stretched here. They don't have the usual shape that they have. And now the lips. From the lower lip. I think it looks pretty good already, doesn't it? Now you have to remember that this part goes wide and this part is pretty much stretched, so you can kind of imply with this line this is just too big of a line. Always try, if you want to, you can use a mirror for reference while you're drawing. You can just have a mirror besides your little tablet or your paper or whatever you want to use and use your own face as reference. Never forget that. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty comfortable with how it looks. And the neck. I don't know how to draw necks. Maybe my next lesson would be like how to place a head where the neck goes and how to draw a neck, because I always do it wrong. Okay, so just let's focus on what we saw. So all the frowny lines get together here. Also, there's a lot of squinting here. Squint. The nostrils go wide and big here, and because all the skin is getting together in this place, this gets wide and fat as well. Once you get that, you start working on the mouth. Always try to consider here the point where the mouth falls to define the shape of the mouth. If you forget about that, it's going to get pretty hard to get the shape of the mouth right. Once you do that, it's pretty easy to define the lower jaw and the rest of the chin and everything else. Also remember to use these lines here. They go around the mouth like they do on an actual face, but they help to emphasize the expression. And always remember that this part gets a bit wide when you are screaming for some reason. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the things that I assumed that I had to do and the things that I learned that I had to do. The squinting, the nose getting wider, the mouth being as wide and open as you can. And now the things that I learned. The place where your mouth folds defines the shape of the mouth. Your jaw grows wider the more you open your mouth. And all the lines and skin that go to this part of your face make your nose actually pretty wide. So once I was done doing this, I decided I wanted to put all the angry faces together to see how they look. And they look like this massive cacophony of screaming faces all together. It's like all this rage concentrated. I think it looks pretty cool. And then I was just fooling around, but I started placing all the faces on top of each other. and they gave this like super weird, super creepy looking image that I just touched a bit because I could see a skull, and then the end was like this horrible screaming face that I uploaded to Instagram, and you can look at it. And it's like super creepy, and it's so weird because like my Instagram account is full of children's books and children's illustration, and then it's like this super creepy face screaming. So you can go check that out to my Instagram account, and I know I'm just showing you here. So that's going to be it for today. Like if you like this video, share it if you think that it's useful. I don't know if there are any other videos about how to draw screaming faces. I hope that you like what I found out. Subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more videos. I'm going to try to regularly make them. I'm Javi, I can draw screaming faces apparently, and I know you can draw too. See you on the next video. Bye!